Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 97-93 victory against the Milwaukee Bucks. Ryker, how we feeling right now after this massive W? 4-game losing streak snap for the Raptors, 8-game win streak snap for the Bucks. Fred VanVleet looking like an all-star, a wild finish to this one. How you feeling right now, Ryker? It's fun to watch the Raptors once again.
Ben, when's the last time that we reacted to a win? I got to pull up the Raptors.
Let's get the balloons going,
here.
Ryker. Let's get the old balloons popping on this pod.
This is the first time in a long time that we have not started this podcast with a somber, depressing tone. We're talking about a victory, Ben. But before we get into all the good stuff, explain for me play by play what happened in the final minute of this one.
Let's not get
playing basketball in my intramural league.
Sad about the final minutes of this one.
Well, give the proper recap. I want to hear it. I haven't seen it, so you give me the walkthrough here. What happened?
Oh, right.
Final 2 minutes.
You were playing a game yourself. You lost by 1, and the Toronto Raptors almost threw this game away. Now, Precious did have a strong second half, but the last minute of this game, it was tough. Honestly, it's going to be tough to just recap it play by play because I'm elated right now watching it. It was just pure chaos, but, it involved a couple of tough fouls. Now, there was a foul on a three-point shooter, and Chris Middleton missed one of the free throws in the final rebound. That foul was on Precious, and then Precious ends up fouling Bobby Portis at the end of this one, and he knocks down one of 2 free throws again, and they get the rebound still, and the Raptors only up by 2 points with about 4 seconds left. The ball gets kicked out, swung to a completely open, left on an island, Pat Connaughton, who can knock down those shots unless it's in a playoff series against the Toronto Raptors, and in and out, pops out in the Raptors, and Precious also got fouled at some point, missed a couple of free throws. So I'm usually the guy spewing the Precious propaganda, but the end of this game was tough, and I don't want to make it sound like a big slander fest of Precious, but you want me to recap the end, but it was a roller coaster, Ryker, in this entire game. But the guy that balled out tonight was Freddie VanVleet. When are we getting the all-star animation for Freddie VanVleet, Ryker?
Listen, it's worth mentioning before we go too into this, because I have been made aware that recently that there are people that watch this video less and less because they're realizing that we spoil the games. We do kind of assume that people have also watched the games, but for anybody that hasn't, Giannis Antetokounmpo did not play in this one. So don't go too hard with the Fred. He should be an all-star, but he's being all right. And Pascal Siakam, I'm going
hard with that, right? You're not taking back my excitement, my elation with Freddie VanVleet. He's been balling, he's been playing defense. I'm not taking any Freddie non-all-star, even if the Raptors suck, which I don't think we will, but he's playing super well.
Well, listen, the comment section sounds like it's saying that Scottie Barnes was looking like the all-star in this one, even though he was third in scoring for the team. He did shoot pretty efficient from the field. Freddie or Scottie Barnes, who had the more impressive game in this one? I'll let you break down both.
Well, it's Fred VanVleet. 29 points. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, surprisingly no steals, but a lot of deflections, a lot of invasive defense on the Milwaukee Bucks. So Fred VanVleet playing well, right, doing his thing out there. And Ryker, every time we needed, except at the end, because Scottie Barnes saved the game, but every time we needed a shot when the Bucks go on a little bit of a run, even though they don't have Giannis and Brook Lopez, they still have a really strong roster with Middleton, Holiday, a solid bunch of role players, but the Bucks would come back with a counterpunch, and then Freddie VanVleet would pull something out of nowhere, whether it was a contested 3 going up, one of his 5 threes that felt like they were all contested, or a drive into the lane and scoop it up over your head or something like that. Freddie VanVleet was doing it all right there, and the chat's all saying Freddie VanVleet's got to be an all-star. I completely, after watching tonight, maybe it's recency bias, but I'm buying all the way into it. Freddie VanVleet was on fire, but Ryker, we do always give out an award at the beginning of this podcast. You want to get a little drum roll going? Because tonight, the Scottie Barnes Award. The Scottie Barnes Award. It's going to Scottie Barnes because he also had a remarkable performance. The box score doesn't really show it. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. So maybe it does show it with the widespread numbers. But 5 of 9 from the field. And we got to talk about him shooting more. But 3 of 6 from the 3-point line, Riker. He's already doubled Ben Simmons' career 3-point shots. And we also have a channel. What is this? Is this a channel membership renewal or?
No, it's just it likes to give us the heads up when they've been a member for 2 months. So shout out Gen Pro. He's been there. He's been upgraded to that purple emblem.
I love it. I love it. I don't know if it's like renewed or something,
And
but he's saying
new profile picture.
Is it a new profile picture?
Has it always been that?
It might be. I think that might have been is always his profile.
Let us know. Did you used to have an older profile picture? I thought that it was something different. So, and did Scottie Barnes win the Scottie Barnes Award tonight? In the comment section saying, "Oh baby," the answer is going to be yes. One of my favorite channels out here that watches the Raptors Digest. So, Ben, young superstar, he's being stretched in the floor. We thought that mid-range jumper looked clean at the beginning of the season because every time he was shooting from that elbow or anywhere around the low block, 12 to 15 foot range, it looked smooth. It looked clean. Didn't matter who was on him, whether it was a big or small forward defending him. It just looked like that the mechanics were there going in wet. Now he's stepping back 3. The shot for him is not broken. It doesn't change at all. He hucked up a bunch of threes in the game that we watched live, kept the momentum going in the game after that. Now tonight's no different, shooting super efficient from 3. I'm hoping, Ben, that this doesn't become his game the same way that Pascal Siakam last season loved to shoot the 3 before he would drive to the basket, because Scottie Barnes is just so talented that he can score in the lane that way. But man, it has to be a plus if he's stretching the floor.
Yeah, it's huge that he has that in his bag. And Paul Blunt saying in the chat, Scottie kept deferring to Siakam. He could have scored way more, and that's true. And Siakam did have 20 points himself. I thought he had a solid game in this one, but Scottie Barnes, he, as you said, right? If he just drives the lane a little bit more, gets more aggressive, we have a budding superstar in our hands. And it's all just down to him shooting more, being aggressive. And usually that's something you don't have to worry about unless you're Andrew Wiggins. But Scottie Barnes...
Ben, that said, he was atrocious with IQ plays in the last game where he had 2 big mistakes in the final 5 minutes of basketball that I can understand why you would want to defer to the guy who's done it longer than he has. But we do want to see Scottie Barnes being more aggressive perhaps than Pascal Siakam at times. So
yeah, and Pascal had a solid game outside of a few turnovers, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 turnovers and 6 fouls, fouled out in the game, but he was getting his offensive game rolling. The spins were happening. They were looking like prime Siakam spins, not none of this bully in and half spin, kind of slow, all that sort of stuff. The spins were belay blade P rather than spinny top P, or however you want to go about it. But I think we also had a chat. I'm looking back at it. Genfro said, could Fred VanVleet pass Kyle Lowry as the Raptors' growth? I think Scottie Barnes is going to be the most likely to do it on this Toronto Raptors squad right now. But Fred VanVleet with the ring, if he leads the squad and continues to play like this, who really knows? But the core of Fred VanVleet, Siakam, and Barnes, when they're playing like this, we can get some games off of some top teams in the league, right?
Okay, maybe. However,
when they're playing like this,
the Bucks without Giannis,
we're playing like this, Riker.
The Bucks without Giannis, though.
No, you're not taking this away from me, Riker. We played the balloons and all that stuff already, but
listen, I came back from my basketball game. I was expecting an L. You were saying that don't be surprised if the Raptors somehow lose a bunch of games in a row and then are victorious against the Bucks. Sure enough, I tune in, but then I see, okay, 97 points. The defense must have been good if they held them to 92, but they weren't scoring at a high clip. Go into the box score. Giannis isn't playing. All right, did we have a couple of injuries? Not really. Gary Trent Jr. is back in the lineup. Chris Boucher played 11 minutes in this game. Could we have done better in this one?
Well, we didn't have OG. Been repping into 6 for life. saying F you to Riker because we had no OG. An OG greater than Siak and than Giannis and Brook Lopez. So I definitely, I love it. We definitely could have played better. We could have got all that stuff rocking. But Riker, we did start off this podcast with some Precious Achiuwa just roasting the play, and I wanted to leave that to the segments, but I had to let you in on the wild ending to this one. But I do want to get to some actual propaganda because his, it says only 2 blocks, but his defense was ferocious tonight. He had a few offensive rebounds in this game, 8 rebounds total, but that just really changed the game. He had a few missed layups at the beginning of the game, which just looked tough. But then in the second half, started finishing a few more around the rim, had a couple nice dunks and stuff. I thought Precious, when he's playing like this is the sort of type of center that we need. This is why I've been on the propaganda bandwagon with Precious Achiuwa, because we know the athleticism there, the energy, the hustle, the form, the mechanics look fine. Right, he gets his game going a little bit, just needs to make better decisions and get his touch going around the rim a little bit better. Obviously, Kem Birch out now, who has really solidified himself as our main big man, it feels like. But it's nice to see Precious having a solid game, despite the ending, which was a little bit of, just like Scottie Barnes in the previous game. Young guys, they make those mistakes, but fortunately the Raptors were still able to get the W.
I hear you. I'm just noticing that my camera quality is not good. I didn't wipe it off, so I'm gonna wipe that real quick.
Fix that camera there, Riker. But
all right, distraction is gone. You were talking about Precious Achiuwa. What about our backup big, Chris Boucher, Yuta Watanabe to an extent? Neither of them got big run in this one. Seems like we stuck with our core 5 for the majority of the minutes in this game. I'm seeing a quick super chat come in. The big sneeze kept things interesting tonight from Graham Roberts, perhaps. The big sneeze, Achiuwa. We finally understand where the nickname is coming from. He kept things interesting, Ben. It would have been too kosher if we had to have just won that game when we were up 10 points. He wanted to keep the fans on the edge of their seat to get this victory, because it's not enough to just win after being on a 4-game skid. You need to win in a memorable fashion. So perhaps that's what happened. But let's sound off before we go into the segments. Give us a little bit of that bench action. What are we seeing from Boucher, Yuta Watanabe, perhaps Banton? None of them got more than really 12, 13 minutes in this game. Yeah.
Well, Boucher came in early in this one because obviously he wasn't getting run in the previous game till the late second half, and had some solid minutes down the stretch of the previous game. So Nurse rewarded him in this game, gave him some first quarter action. Just didn't look good. Missed one. There were a lot of missed layups in this game, which was just tough to watch. And Boucher had one right underneath the rim, clanked it off the backboard and rolled around the rim and popped out. Just an open layup as a 7-footer. That's tough. Or a 6'9", or whatever you want to call the bias. But you can't be missing open layups just like that. And then, start off the game, missed his threes, whatever. But then people were ready to slander him. I had Josh's stream pulled up for a little bit. He had the flames going. I think it was Bueno Kitty or Meow the Cat. One of the kitty guys or girls in our chats that are always popping up was Flame and Josh, because Boucher came back and had a few nice possessions. Got his 6 points, I feel like, right in a row. So maybe earned himself more minutes at that point, but then Bonga took his last 3-minute spurt at the end of the game, it felt like, even though Boucher and him were overlapping. But he was all right. Yuta hit 2 threes, which is great to see because obviously we need more shooting off that bench. Delano Banton, he's kind of dialed it back from the exciting, explosive guy we saw at the beginning of the year. I'd like to see him get a better, go with more speed to that rim. Get his game going. Open up the lane. Dunk on some people. Delano, get your game back going. But he's been a little bit passive. And then some possessions he just decides to shoot, doesn't pass, and then we'll shoot a midi fade and miss. So Delano's working through those rookie mistakes, but I'm still very high on the guy. And then Riker, just to finish off with the bench, we'll get a little bit hydrated with Svi Mihailuk, who could not make a 3 to save his life tonight. 1 of 6 from the 3-point line. You got the water bottle going. But he did play otherwise played solid. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, always bringing the hustle, finished around the rim, did everything you'd like to see from Svi except for knock down those threes. But I trust those threes will go in. The bench was solid tonight, and when the bench is rocking, the Raptors are usually rocking. So it's nice to see the bench playing well, and the Raptors get a big old
People are saying the bench
W.
didn't show up tonight. They're saying the bench wasn't clean, and they
It
were
was okay.
outscored.
It was okay.
They didn't put up that many points. The efficiency definitely wasn't there.
Yeah.
If we're looking at trades, because people have been calling for a Pascal Siakam trade or kind of a roster shakeup, I wouldn't mind looking at Boucher. And that's not because he's an attitude issue or anything like that, but he's just not putting up his drop in efficiency and performance from last season is so off the charts in the wrong direction. I wouldn't mind making a move for this guy. I don't know what the market is for him out there, but I'm just saying. Ben, let's swing to the segments. I got one. I didn't even watch the game tonight, but I got an interesting one. I guess the spicy Pile. It's like we need something, Ben, just for okay, yeah. It's not the play. It's not the play of the day. It's a moment, the spicy moment of the game, Ben, and that's Retro Senpai, aka Peasant Plays, aka Marcel Martin. Is my screen? Is it on the screen?
Yep.
Is it on the screen?
It's up.
He's been rocking the merch, and he just posted on IG today that his most viewed podcast or his most listened to podcast of the year, based on the Spotify. The Spotify, I guess you see everybody Instagram posting these is like their most listened to music. He posted up on his IG the most listened to pod, and it was the Raptors Digest. You got to give our boy Marcel Martin the spicy moment for that.
That's a W, because my script has been broken that takes the YouTube videos and puts them onto Spotify and Apple Music and all that. But I think I might have it fixed. I posted one up there today, so hopefully those will be back on when we do the post games and all that sort of stuff. But and shout out Marcel, the legend himself, the man, the myth. If you guys also, if we're in your Spotify Wrapped or whatever, give it a post. We'll shout you out on the pods. However, there was some spicy Pile moments in this game, Riker, and it's got to go to Scottie Barnes, right? What is he now? 16, 17, 20-time Scottie Barnes award winner, right? Going, rocking out with that. But he had a moment that saved this game in this one, because Precious Achiuwa, and this is the Raptors down by 2. This is the free throws. It's coming back to me, Riker. The Raptors are up by 2, and they have a chance to seal it. Precious Achiuwa at the free throw line after giving those fouls and all that sort of stuff. Misses the first one, right? Front rim. Misses the second one, but who other than Scottie Barnes? The long wingspan, hits it, taps the ball back out to Fred VanVleet, ended up with it, and then iced the game with a few free throws. So shout out Scottie Barnes for hitting threes, making passes, playing defense, getting game-saving offensive rebounds. Thank you, Baines. Thank you, tanking season. Thank you, Tampa. Legendary stuff for Scottie Barnes.
That sounds good, Ben. He's got that that you do for the free throws.
Oh yeah.
Swish
the thing or whatever. Man, that's amazing. But obviously, not all plays could be the spicy Pile of the day, and some just make you say, "Oh, geez!" And tonight, the OG's play of the day. It's got to go to. I said a bunch of them. Boucher's missed wide open layup. Precious Achiuwa had one from his hip and threw it up and just missed it completely underneath the rim. The whole end to this game could certainly be just a whole OG's moment. I know you caught a couple highlights at the end of it. Riker, did you catch any OG's in this one?
Yeah, it sounds like that whole stretch of basketball that you elaborate at the beginning of this podcast can all be in OGs. When you're about to blow a 10-point lead in the last 2 minutes of the game, that's tough. That's tough. Almost as bad as the game that I just came from, particularly in the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll get into your post game in this last 20 minutes. Where's Bueno Kitty? He's always looking for those story times, but that's going to be coming. But finally, the infamous, the one, the only, Paul Pierce, Golden Kazoo Award of the night. And Riker, in this one, he played well otherwise, But Gary Trent looked a little bit off with the shots tonight. 3 of 16 from the field, 2 of 10 from the three-point line, 8 points. I think he took the most outside of Fred VanVleet for a lot of this game. Gary Trent Jr. took the most shots in this one and just couldn't get them to go down. Thankfully, Trent does it in other categories, statistical areas, others, impacts the game on other places on the court. 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. But if Trent has been inconsistent at times with the jumper and getting a little bit more consistent, especially from the three-point line, because he can usually ice those middies, right? It's nice. We'd be pretty well crushing these teams night in, night out if everyone's a little bit more consistent. And obviously we got the W, but if Trent knocked those down, we'd be getting a few extra points. And we got a super chat, Riker. Sound off on it.
The touch suck? No. The touch didn't suck. It's not as sound bitey when the touch is fine. I didn't even see this game because I was playing basketball myself. So Ben has shouldered the burden here of explaining this one for you. Hopefully I was asking Ben the right questions to make it not too difficult to come up with what to say. But he's a pro at going solo anyways, so he would have been fine either way. Ben, I think that this is the perfect time for us to go off the rails and sound off on the final alarm, the final 2 minutes of action of this podcast. 2 minutes and no more, as always, Ben. Let's play that more. Sound. Never more, never less. 2 minutes on the nose. Let's go.
Beep, 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 beep.
That's right. The final alarm has sounded. It's gone off. And the chat's already wilding. And as is tradition, get a little like spike going. We're at 31 likes, 200 viewers. Let's get that numbers through the roof. Pump that Raptors Digest stuff. But, Riker, how much did the Memphis Grizzlies end up losing to the... or beating? We shouldn't feel bad about our loss to the Grizzlies now because they just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder by, 73 points?
Yeah, when you put it that way, 79-152, probably the biggest margin victory in NBA history, I would have to imagine.
I think so. 70. I can't imagine.
And 152, I'm not certain, but 152 was a lot for regulation as well. Let me search that real quick.
Yeah.
Highest scoring NBA games in regulation.
In regulation, that could be high.
Crazy.
They didn't have Shea in this one. They did have Dort and they did have Baisley. So I think Josh Giddey's out as well. So as we said last year, the Oklahoma City Thunder team is primed for tanking. They're optimized for tanking. That's
highest scoring regulation game was 162-158. Like, it's not far off.
Yeah. That's is it for one team though? Because obviously there's two teams.
Oh, they're probably counting the combined totals. And it's tough too because you don't really want to count overtimes.
Yep.
You got a bunch of extra minutes to play. But yeah, you're right. I'm seeing 2019 there was a Rockets, Washington Wizards, 159-158. All right, we'll put that to bed. There's lots of high-scoring games. But 152 is a lot to score, and then obviously 73-point margin is insane.
Jim from Jimfro saying Raps are top 4, right? Even through the depths of it, I'm still holding out hope. The Raptors can turn it around. Right? We trade Boucher for Christian Wood, and it's over. That's all I'm saying.
Dropping the like section for hope for Christian Wood to the Raps, says Bueno.
Right on time. Right on cue,
Did that video get any views? We did break that down recently that the Christian Wood is on the block. And when there's a big on the block, and people have been saying that we're still lacking in that 7-footer department, who I did very poignantly mention he is still not a 7-footer, but then Ben very firmly rebuted that he is still the guy that would bring us the solution to our problems.
Boy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That video got views.
I'm a fan of Christian Wood. I don't know. I don't think none of our videos are getting views right now. The Raptors been trash, but with this W, with this win streak coming, the Raptors Digest will be back, just like the Toronto Raptors. So that's a W. That's a W. People are saying for Jonas, top 4 seeds coming back. Gary Trent Jr. Paul Blunt said something earlier about Gary Trent Jr. rocking 2 pairs of shoes. That's pretty. You and I both got new shoes in Toronto right there. Do you want to sound off on your game? Because that sounded that's.
Oh, yo, Paul Blunt
Whoa.
coming in. Recap of the pickup game at LA Fitness. This is it. So
does he know about our game at LA Fitness? Our debut at LA Fitness?
That's what he's asking.
Is that what? Okay, is Josh saying that? Did Josh say this on the live, or is he talking about your game?
I didn't play at LA Fitness.
Okay.
I just played. I just had a game. There was no LA Fitness, and I don't even have one in Kingston. So this is what happened for anybody that's interested. The Raptors Digest did finally
and
unite.
Leafs Digest.
Yeah. Yes. Because Philly, I was just considering him part of the Raptors Digest. We united. We played at LA Fitness. Josh said, Joshy Ice, if you're not familiar, is the guy that runs our live game reactions during the games. So the play-by-play. He said, some guys at LA Fitness make you not want to play basketball anymore. They want all the smoke. They're too intense. It's not fun. Meanwhile, somebody hits a game winner on us. We were playing pretty well. Close game. That's why they hit the game winner on us. And he says, in the excitement, this is my court. That's a pretty average thing to say, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
As he's walking out to get water. He's like, this is my court.
And he's walking out.
And he hit some nice shots too. Give credit to the dude. He hit some nice contested setbacks. And
Josh Ice, he was playing. He was living up to his name. He was hitting layups too. So he was competitive as well. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, he has a second to stew on this. And as the guy comes back in from his water break, after Josh said he doesn't like how intense people are about this, he says, is your name on the gym? Is this your court? Should I give you a crown? Wanting all of the smoke, stirring all of the pot. And then they go back and forth. The guy says, don't tell me here. Tell me outside. Let's go. You and I were between being uncomfortable and laughing. This was the funniest exchange. Josh wanted all the smoke. He was the guy that was instigating, wanting to fight. I love the energy. That's Josh in a nutshell. Our first LA Fitness experience. It lived up to the hype, I have to say.
It definitely lived up to the reputation, for sure. I don't know if the hype. That's a tiny court they got you playing in with a lot of people. You know, it's tough. But the king of LA Fitness, that's Josh Goodwin there. That's what you got to call him in the chats and all that sort of stuff. But
yeah, Josh is the king. He is the king.
Dropping Rando in the fro zone. Dude is a hockey guy. Chirpy. Hail Joshy Ice. We had producer James, King James, as what people have been calling him on the streams. He was also there trying to get some W's. He's playing on one foot, being aggressive, getting some W's. Lawnmower Man saying, "Where's Josh, the Siakam hater at?" I'm sure he was throwing the slander on the live stream as well.
Yeah, it probably was. And it's funny. It's Josh isn't everybody's saying he sounds like a hockey guy. He's not even a hockey guy. He's a lacrosse guy. And I think there's some very close parallels. But he's a baller. We didn't think that he could play basketball, but he's got that kind of, big body game. He was getting lots of layups. He was very active. I would have been interested to have that 1v1 or 2v2, which we were hoping to have. It was just way too crowded at the LA Fitness gym. And that's where it is. But Ben and I, when I go back to Newfoundland for Christmas, I'm bringing back the camera that I bought. Ben has his camera. We're going to get 2 or 3 people to record. We're going to get that 1v1 filmed and finally post it like people have been interested in seeing. I won't say desperate to see, but I'm sure people will be interested in watching Ben and I go 1v1.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be happening, right? Riker's all warmed up the season, getting those games in. I got to get my reps back before we get this game rocking, but it's gonna be well anticipated. A tough game there. But Josh actually, 1-800-Lunatic is saying Josh actually wasn't slandering Siakam tonight. So you love to see that.
You love to see it. Honestly, not that much off the rails. I think that my big story kind of sidetracked us from talking NBA basketball, but it is what it is. A victory, Ben. They have been few and far between this season. It was actually November 24th was our last win, so it's nice to be back in that W column. People were saying earlier, this could be the start of a 10-game win streak for the Raptors. So really, we have the individual pieces. If Pascal Siakam can get comfortable in the lineup, nothing's stopping us from putting a couple of dubs together.
Yeah, we got the talent. It's just all got to come together and get Scottie Barnes some more shots and all that sort of stuff. But you guys are the best for making this far. Check out the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. Got some merch coming. Or got the merch coming. It's Christmas season, right? So some merch could be
the season
popping off, right? We got to get on that. We've been talking about those designs. We got to get that stuff rocking. But join the channel membership. Lots of cool stuff, cool perks with that. And Ryker, if you subscribe to the channel, you can get an opportunity at this fire hoodie. Similar to the one Josh was wearing in that video. Not the same one. It's not the same one, guys. That's his old one. But what are you pointing to?
Subscribe? I don't know. You said something and it sounded like it was downwards, but maybe it's not.
No, it's not. But we got you're pointing to your Instagram handle. Hit up at Ryker.Rich. Not Ben Rogers one. Those posts. I made my first post in a long time the other day, so maybe get more followers, more posts come. But Ryker, do you have any last words on this Toronto Raptors W against the Milwaukee Bucks? Champs. We just beat the champs.
First of many, baby. Let's go. Cheers.